Hello. Did I forget to turn? I did. 1 second. This is really loud. There we go. Much better. Hello. Hello, everyone. Lost power since Friday. We were away, so didn't know. Lost everything in 2 fridges and freezers. Oh, no. No. That sucks. That is absolutely wretched. Hello, Rachel. Hello, Angel. Hello, Clara. How are you guys doing today? That is horrible. How was everyone's weekend? All that meat and chicken I've been buying on sale lost. No. Oh no. That's absolutely wretched. Hey, Silver. So, I don't know how many of you guys heard about all the unalivings that happened over 4th of July. Not many people are talking about them because it has become normalized. He did keep one promise. Which one was that? Morning, Kevin. He promised. Did he promise that? He may have promised it to his people, but didn't he tell everyone else that he would release the files and actually like put everyone in prison? He just said it was all Democrats in it. We were at our little cottage. Bad storm blew in, damaged our umbrellas and canopy, but didn't lose power. Luckily, it was 98 degrees. Dang. Oh, okay. I understand why he started the war. I got it. I hear you and I agree. Hey, OC. I hear you. How are things in Lakeland, Florida? If for any of you that are here, if you guys aren't on the Discord, I was letting people know that the song that I was writing is phase 1 is done. So now it's going into production phase, which is really cool. I've never written a song before. I was honored to get to do it with a good friend of mine. And if anyone wants to help fund the production, it's not a cheap thing. but I understand y'all are life is life right now. Hey Kelsey. Hey Lori. Hey UA Fish. Thank you for the heart muse, guys. Guys, if you're over here on TikTok, please tap that nose. Share. Share. Join the fan club. What good are we as a family if we aren't here to support each other? I'm just glad you're okay. Things can always be replaced, but we can't. Truth. Truth. It was really interesting and disturbing watching all of the videos telling people how we are or are not allowed to celebrate the 4th of July. I saw a video with someone saying that if I didn't love this country, I could not barbecue on the 4th of July. Hey, meme. I could not barbecue on the 4th of July unless I loved everything about the country right now. But how was everyone's weekend? What did everyone do? I did nothing. My family's not here. They can't separate nationalism and patriotism. True. He did not secure the border. Morning, Susan. There were never caravans of people walking. At least not in the way you think. Again, I'm not sitting here arguing that we needed to change our immigration policies. The way people are talking in absolutes is wild to me. I mean, it's wild, Claire, in the sense of it's sad, but it's not surprising. It's not surprising. You haven't seen one video since? Oh, well. Democrats don't hate America. I would actually argue, first off, the Democratic Party is a corporation. I would argue conservatives hate America in 2026 more than people that support that progressives do. Excuse me? I'm not begging for money. I'm making content. Welcome to the world. Hey, Castle. Daisy, I'm going to say this right now. I want you to hear me. The problem is not trans people. It's not a trans woman. It's not a trans man. The problem is you. And your inability to understand that there are people that aren't like yourself. You've never had to worry about a trans person in your bathroom. You are the problem. Goodbye. Correct. Trans people have been living in the world, America, everywhere else for centuries. I think this is how he hears himself when he's saying that.
You people steal from the poor to feed parasitic corporate well-beings.
But this is how he actually sounds.
You have destroyed human decency in the world with your satanic hatred.
Weak and tired? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, gosh. Y'all. This is my channel, Tracy. This is my channel. Oh, got to make sure to @ people. He did not close the border. And yet you are helping my algorithm, Rust. So thank you. What's up?
They're out early today.
They are out
They are
early.
coming out of the woodwork to see what I think it is that they're all in their feelings because Trump fucked up completely the 250th birthday.
Hey, Sheriff.
So now they're all in their feelings.
Did you?
I mean, this guy can't win a war in Iran. He can't run a birthday party for the nation. He can't even get algae. He loses a war to algae, too.
Oh, now they're attacking my teeth again. Oh, my gosh.
Exactly, Linda. It's been a long weekend for them. I think you hit the nail on the head, Linda.
Did you hear the people that are trying to say that Democrats closed down all the events because of the storm?
Yes, that is that evil, probably George Soros is behind it. That is that evil ability of the Democrats to control the weather. Those damn Democrats, it's been 105 degrees in New Jersey. They did that.
That's right. We control the weather.
It's that Democratic weather machine. I'll tell you what, Democrats, why don't you try winning elections? We'll get started on that. Get that machine going.
I've put in a request to control the weather for a little while, but I haven't heard back. If the Dems controlled the weather, we wouldn't all be dying of overheating. Exactly. That is so true. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Steph. Hey, mommy mom. The Sticky Bunch and the Sticky Bunch. It's me. It's me. Hi. Is there a wait list? Yes. A long wait list. Hey, Lewis.
Oh, Kenny seems to be saying what a great job we did in the war. Yeah, Kenny, it worked out beautifully, didn't it? Where are those ballistic missiles? Oh, they still have them. Where's the 970 pounds of enriched uranium? Oops, they still have that too. Oh, the regime change? Yeah, we put in hardliners. That really worked out well for us. And now they control de facto the Straits of Hormuz. Yeah, that's a great victory for the United States. What world are you living in, Kenny? Filled up your tank lately?
And someone just asked me, do I have any alpha males and follow me? Oh my God. Jeez, these guys are comedy gold today. Comedy gold. Ugh.
Is Monday usually a big day for the crazies?
It has gotten worse as right before my trip, I kind of saw it getting worse because I think reality is just starting to kick in everywhere. And this is the only way they know how to respond.
Yeah, it's got to be tough when you lack the mental acuity to continue to defend the indefensible, which is what they're sort of trapped into doing since they basically align their whole personalities behind their cult.
And I love when they say goodbye as though I care. That's always funny to me too. It's like, all right, see ya. Guys, it is for those of you that haven't been around or that haven't been paying attention because I got off social media for the 4th of July. I completely understand. You should. It has been really weird. It has been a weird social media weekend. The amount of people that are here's the we're living this ever never ending cycle of people trying to tell other people what it means to be X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to be straight. That's coming from all sides. We are all trying to tell other people what it means to be an American, what it means to love our country, what it means to do a lot of things. And I say all of us because, there's a part of me that wants to tell people what it means to be in a certain way. And I think we need to really understand that we are a country of over 300 million people. We will never, ever be able to fully just move on. No, see, that's a difference. So again, I have fundamentals. I can accept that I cannot tell other people how to live, but we still do have fundamentals. You voted for him. I didn't vote for him. I've been spending the last, gosh, how many years now have I been doing basically full-time political content? Not full-time, but haven't impeach him. Well, I'm not a representative in the House of Representatives, so I cannot impeach him. I can support people that would impeach him, which is exactly what I'm doing, which is why I've interviewed 150 people that are running for office, trying to get them through so they could actually do that. Keep calling out his lies, which I've been doing for the last 4 years. I'm still confused as to what's going on here. This ain't an airport. don't have to announce your departure. Truth. You're telling people how to live by saying people shouldn't tell you how to live. No. I'm saying that all people, no matter your race, religion, gender, or identity, deserve rights, respect, dignity, and safety. And if your choices take away the rights of other people, that's not okay. I'm not telling you how to live. When I do that. I believe in freedom of religion. I believe in freedom of choice. If your choices hurt other people, oh my gosh. Harry, opinions, just opinions. They're all opinions. Literally, what? So the point? The point is that when you pass laws that make and you fight for things that make it so people cannot live the way they choose to live, you are going against that statement. Oh, they're back out again. You got a new wave.
I'd like Dave to explain what a 16-year war president even means, and then to say how that means he can't be impeached. I guess we don't have a constitution anymore. Could you fill us in on your theory there?
Both parties are not passing laws that hurt, at least not trying to. Are there people in both parties that are not good for all people? Sure. Sure. How will you be if Rubio and Vance become president? I will be just as pissed off.
And by the way, about that whole passing laws thing, you do realize that the Republicans control the White House, the Senate, and the House. It's the Republicans passing laws. The Democrats aren't passing anything.
And as it stands
Democrats don't have the power right now.
And as it stands right now, you still need a filibuster. You still need to get through the filibuster to be able to pass pretty much anything in this country. And as long as you're dealing with that, there's going to have to be compromise made, which is going to prevent things from getting through. And this is someone who but Dems will be in and pass their laws. No. See, here's the thing that you're not seeing. No laws are being passed federally right now. Like almost none. How many laws have been passed? Like federal laws, other than budget, because budget, or other than the things that don't need the filibuster. They have not passed anything. This might become even less effective than the last term of Congress. How about we get back to bipartisan? So here's the thing about being a bipartisan. I mean, I agree. I agree. We have a country of a lot of different ideas, and we need to figure out how to work together again. I unfortunately fear that there is a lack of agreement on fundamentals right now, which is why it's becoming impossible to actually work in a bipartisan manner. And it doesn't help that when we actually pass a bipartisan bill, the president of the United States goes, "I'm not going to do it unless you pass this other thing."
Dave in chat has some more pearls of wisdom. He said he turned the country over to the military and the Supreme Court to run, and they are doing it. And something about Congress being arrested or something like that. Dave, would you explain what you're talking about? Because I can assure you nobody understands.
Lack of agreement on reality. Whose reality?
Oh, so they were arrested and all their assets were seized. Dave, when did this actually happen? Could you fill us in when this happened, when Congress was arrested and when the military took over our government? Could you explain when that happened?
Ah, FBI informant.
Oh, an FBI informant can arrest Congress. Okay.
No, no,
Wow,
no.
I
The
didn't learn that in
informant
law school.
is the one letting us know that this actually happened. Look at history. We become heavily divided, then come together, back and forth, over and over. While that is true, and there will always be some level of division, I do believe that this is different. I believe we're dealing with a societal change at a level that we have never experienced before. Now, again, will we get through it? Sure. What that looks like, I don't think it's just going to be, it's going to be the, you know, the middle staying the middle. Let's put it that way. I think the internet and access to information has fundamentally changed the younger generations to a point that it cannot stay the way it was. I love how everyone is still so obsessed with the border. It's so wild to me.
Well, think about it, Mike. What else are they going to talk about? I mean, they're going to talk about the low cost of healthcare. Oops. They're going to talk about the low cost of grocery. Oops. There's nothing they can talk about. They're going to talk about how inflation has gone down. No, it's gone way up. There's nothing else they can talk about.
Yeah. Another political creator I follow made a great argument that expanding SCOTUS is the most important thing because they'll just shut down things like Medicare for all. Hate it, but it's true.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot here, and that's quite a step. I don't think the Democrats will do it if they take the trifecta in 28. I hope that they do, but I just don't think they're going to pull the trigger.
And Pelham, I understand. If I were another nation and having to deal with the bullshit of this country and this president and what they're doing, I wouldn't be a fan either. Nothing would. The two parties are going to stay in charge until people start getting involved in primaries and state and local, especially state. Nothing will change until more people get involved. Forget we have a Canadian border because it really has nothing to do with immigrants. again, it just doesn't, and that's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but you know what I mean. I've accepted the fact that there are some people in this country, too many people in this country, that are the exact thing that we supposedly, me growing up, was told that we stood against. I had to unfortunately learn to accept that. I was taught growing up that we were different. We were making this country better for everyone. And unfortunately, it took until my 40s to realize how wrong I was. What's the American dream right now? You know, it depends on who you ask. At this point, my hope is survival. If I'm being honest. I don't believe the American dream. I don't believe the American dream that I was taught existed actually existed for a majority of the country. I truly believe that, especially once we started deregulating capitalism for a majority of the country, the American dream doesn't exist. It never has. It's an unattainable goal.
Well, in fact, the phrase American dream is a relatively new one in American history. It took place in very strange circumstances at the end of World War II through the 1970s, when the United States controlled half the world's GDP.
Yeah.
We were extraordinarily wealthy coming out of the Second World War, and the middle class really did thrive for about 30, 35 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's a capitalist dream. I mean, in the end, what the American dream became is what capitalism told us it was, really. Work hard, work super hard, work harder than you should, give up time with family, give up time with everything, and you will be rewarded. And again, when it first started, when there were regulations, there was at least a somewhat argument to say we were moving in that direction. But not anymore. Maybe I'm referring to the Martin Luther King's dream. I mean, that's a different dream. I like that dream a lot. Not even sure how many people have that dream anymore. It's kind of scary. Why do some Americans blindly follow their leader with no question? The same reason some people follow anyone without question. It benefits them. They're afraid of what might come. They're in a cult. There's a lot of reasons, unfortunately. Hey, Ambrosia. And hi, Teach. Sorry I didn't say hi. No, not trust. Because again, if it was truly trust, then there was no way that this president would have gotten voted in the first place. Because literally nothing this man has done through his entire career showed that he is worthy of trust. Like literally nothing. Nothing. And that's fine. You guys have the right, all of us have the right to choose who we want. That is the joys and pains of democracy, right? But don't pretend that it's trust. And if there's any amount of trust, it's trust that that things will stay good for you, and ignorance to how it would affect everyone else. But Biden, same. I didn't trust Biden. In many ways, I didn't love Biden. This is, again, maybe not you, but many did. Until we can get out of this dumbass whataboutism. No, nobody thought that Biden, no one treated Biden like people are treating Trump. No one. No one. Literally no one. David's all in his feelings. Or was. I know.
David has gone bye-bye.
Why would anyone trust a politician? Exactly. You're good, Ghost. Hey, Patty. You must not be a sports guy. Actually, I'm a big sports guy. I've been playing sports since I played T-ball.
He's a big Yankees fan, Tom.
That I might have to block you. I'm just kidding. I've played baseball, basketball, soccer, lacrosse, ultimate frisbee, football. I've kind of played it all. So, no, big sports guy. But again, thanks for playing. It's not soccer, it's football. I understand. I understand what you're saying, Pelham. But unfortunately, in America, if I say football, they're going to think of something else. So I separate them because I played both of them. Dems are fighting words. Morning, Candace. Morning, RK. The other funny thing, well, not funny. The other wild thing is hearing the responses of, was it the Proud Boys in DC? And every angle that everyone is trying to push to pretend that it wasn't what was going on wasn't really what was going on.
You mean the guys with the white masks?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they were Proud Boys or quite literally American Yahtzees. I think they might have been part of the American Yahtzee Party. I'm not sure.
According to their social media, they said it was them, I think. Or it was one of those groups. It was Patriot Front. Thank you.
Yes, Patriot Front. That's the name, which is a Yahtzee offshoot.
Yeah. So what does America think about it? No. You don't. Antifa's not a thing. I don't understand how you can't get that. Literally, Antifa is shorthand for anti-fascism. Anyone who's against fascism It's not an actual group. There is no organization. No, they aren't. They didn't attack anybody because they aren't a thing. I don't understand how you can't get that. Why cover their face, though? Because they know they'd get in trouble. That's exactly why. They knew the internet is forever, and their faces would go out to the place they work, and they'd probably get fired. And they know that this administration won't do anything about it. Notice how no one is freaking out about the fact that an entire group of people walked around with covered faces, even though they tried to make it like illegal for people to walk around with covered faces. They attacked weak people. You never saw them attacked an elf. This is wild today. Today's live is wild. Guys, thank you for everyone that has given to both me and Scott. You make it possible for me to keep doing what I'm doing, which is try and have these hard conversations. The fact is what I'm trying to do on this channel is not easy. It's not sometimes it's more exciting than others depending on what we're doing at the time. But really, in the end, we're dealing with we're having to come to grips with hard realities that a lot of people don't want to accept because it hurts, because it makes them feel uncomfortable. So for all of you that do give and make it possible for me to keep doing this, I do appreciate it more than you know. You must not have a 401k. I do have a 401k. So what?
Yeah. Pamela says in chat, what does America think about the Yahtzee gold eagle going up on the White House? Well, I don't know what everybody else thinks. I think Albert Speer would have been proud of that. If you don't know who Albert Speer is, go look it up. He was Adolf's architect and Minister of Armaments. But yeah, that would be something Albert Speer would do, not something any American president would do.
You're taking the week off? What? Hey, Bien. I don't like that this administration, this president, is making it all about him. Y'all are insufferable. Who's y'all?
You know, Mike, you only get one 250th birthday party, and he wrecked it.
True.
Nobody showed up. You had more people at my small, tiny town 4th of July celebration than you had on the mall. It was a joke. $22 hamburgers, $70 T-shirts, $200 T-shirts also, $50 for a cap. Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, no entertainment because even though they were D-listers, they all crapped out on them.
Disney had a better production for the 4th than he did. I mean, that's not a surprise. Tried to watch fireworks, excited as soon as they started playing Prince, He Would Never. Again, you can love this country and what you, hey Hillary, long time no see, and what we were always told it should be, and what we as Americans are fighting for it to be. Not like this president, not like this administration, not like what's going on right now. I think there's this idea, which again, is it surprising that this idea exists in this country? That people that support this administration think this way? No, it's not surprising at all. None of us should be surprised that this is the reaction from this administration and the people that support him to any of us who are speaking out against it. This is how this works. This is how they do things. You know, it's the same idea as you know, the right to protest. Anyone is going to be okay with the right to protest if you're on the side of the protesters. And unfortunately, it is pretty well established there are very few, if any, presidents, at least of the United States, that have been okay with protesters when they're on the other side of the protest. I mean, has there been any, Scott, that you know of?
Not that I can name offhand now.
That's the problem. That's why it's so important that we as the people get more involved. That's why when people say, oh, we just need to, like my video today of this woman who, if you haven't watched the video, go watch it, because dang, this woman was wild. Was basically saying we shouldn't go no contact with our families because of who they voted for and who they support and what they believe. And if you should be an adult, and for things like Thanksgiving, just be an adult and say, I don't want to talk politics during this time. Which I thought was hilarious that he said she used Thanksgiving as a choice. But we cannot accept that mentality anymore in this country. We can't. That mentality of, oh, I just don't do politics is what got us here. That mentality is coming from someone who does not want to deal with the problems that we have in this country. Again, people, 50% of the country barely being able to survive is not an opinion. That's a fact. That's a reality. People's lives being threatened by choices this administration and people that support it have made is not an opinion. It's a reality. So you either care about it or you don't care about it. And if you don't care about it, that is your right. But don't pretend that you're going to be able to keep the kind of relationships with people that do or that are affected by it. Yeah, you have modern day Krispy Kremes marching through Washington with Confederate frickin' flags. Like, what the hell? I mean, Mr. Wallace, on Friday, I was getting a lot of people that said, if you don't like it here, just move. And my response every single time was the same. Did you like Biden? And they went, hell no. And I go, why didn't you move? And then they never responded. Look, We need to either decide that things are not okay the way they are, or accept things the way they are. We need to stop. We have been doing this back and forth problem for decades now. You don't like something one party does, you just go to the other party. You don't like something the other party does, you just go back. That is how we have done things. We've completely ignored the problems, the cause of the problems, the realities of the solutions, to the point where there is no good solution. Right? And again, maybe someone has something that I haven't thought of, which is definitely possible. But we are living in a reality that there is no solution to the problems that we have in this country that will not hurt people. There just isn't.
No, you're quite right, because we've lost our wiggle room economically. That's what having a $40 trillion debt will do to you.
Correct.
There's lots of policies that we could enact, but we're going to have to raise taxes to do it, because we can no longer just keep putting things on the national credit card.
Our national debt is too high. We didn't raise the minimum wage to a living wage when we should have. There is going to be pain with every possible fix there is. That is just a given. Now, are there things that we can do to help, put some like guardrails to not make it as painful as it could be? I'm sure there are.
The pain can be mitigated, but it's still real. You're quite right.
Yeah.
There's no easy way out. And by the way, that's incumbent upon the Democrats to, since they're the opposition party, to level with the American people, not to promise things that they can't deliver, or to promise things that they're implying will be delivered at no cost. No, there's a cost for everything. We talk a lot on this channel about a Medicare for all, and that universal health care, whichever acronym or name you want to use for it. But that's going to involve a raise in taxes. Now, we think that it's worth it, but that's a legitimate political argument to have.
Pelham, how does it allow it? Because it doesn't say you can't. That's how it allows it. There's very few limitations on what it is to be president, and that is an unfortunate reality at this moment. If you ask anyone here, we think it's horrible, but
35 years old and born in this country, you could run from jail.
People have.
And in fact, Eugene V. Debs did run from jail for president.
So it's more than just taxing the rich and not us. That's why I say it's we need to raise taxes. Yes, most of the taxes we need to raise are on the wealthy. No argument there. But the problem really is that our entire country is built on monopoly money now. Banks have relended the same dollar probably minimum of 100 times, to the point that most of the money that's out there isn't real. They can never sell most of those stocks because it will crash the market, like straight up. What we need to do is, there's a lot of things, unfortunately, that we need to do. And again, none of them are easy. We've got to stop wealthy people's ability to take out tax-free loans based on their wealth. We have to make it so wealth can't close the loopholes. Yeah,
Well, part of closing the loopholes is, and you're quite right, that's what's going to have to happen. And we saw it happen after in 1974 after Watergate. There were a lot of reforms passed that held that created guardrails that held for about 50 years. Well, we need to do it all over again, and the guardrails are going to have to be a lot stronger than we saw in 1974.
See, here's the thing, shish kebab. We some of these things you cannot fix the overarching problem unless you fix most, if not all of them at the same time, or at least start the process on all, if not at the same time. That's how bad we've gotten. That's how bad the problem has gotten. Is almost every issue that we're dealing with is a multi-aspect issue. And to fix the end game problem, you have to actually do work on everything at the same time, or it will just be like putting a band-aid on a wound, on your carotid artery wound. All right, user blah blah blah. Sounds like you need. There are no communist countries out there. You don't even know what communism is. And why would I move? The whole purpose of a democracy of our country is for us to be able to fight for the kind of country we want. That's literally the purpose. Well, yeah, Mega KS. I mean, if you want to decide to stay in it, the only way you can prevent going to crony capitalism is regulations. And as long as we can get rid of regulations as easily as we can put them into place, we're going to deal with this problem. What's up, Shug? We just need to care. Yeah, we need unions. But really, it comes down to we need to care as a society about everybody. We need to start caring. Were you happy here when Biden was president, Ed? You were? You were happy. Okay. You never complained about anything Biden did, ever. You said, he's my president, and I will support him 100% all the time. When he makes a mistake, I will still support him. Because that's what a true American does. I think I already know the answer. But that's what we should do, Saffron. And that's what we're trying to do. Twisting Thoughts, I appreciate what you're saying, but I need you to stop. Okay. Nope. I worked, paid into taxes, and lived, not just complain. What what do you think I did? What do you think all of us did? You think none of us are working? You think none of us worked? I complained about things that Biden did. How do you figure out whether someone did a good enough job to vote for them again? How do you hold them accountable if all you do is either ignore or don't talk about it or just support? I don't have a problem with people complaining about Biden. My problem was never that people complained about Biden. My problem is that when people complain about one side, they aren't willing to complain about the other. They will support them to death, even when what they're straight up doing is illegal or dangerous. That's my issue. I think when you become president, it's the way of the world that you are become under a microscope. You should accept that. This president doesn't like the fact that he's under a microscope. Everyone else is at fault. He is somehow perfect. When we know that is a false statement. Oh, we absolutely do not need to stop blaming presidents, Dems, and Republicans. We need to hold them accountable. We don't need to expect them to be perfect, but we should absolutely hold them accountable. If you complained about Biden's economy, but you're silent now, not credible. That's fair. That's fair. Thank you, Lily. Or Lil. I'm not sure which it is, but thank you. Hey, OC, thank you. I know I said hey before, but. Lil 1. Lil 1. Gotcha. I feel people are not angry enough. So, again, this is the problem that we experience, right? We have lost the desire and in some ways the capability of dealing with real disagreement. We don't know how to disagree in a healthy way. I think part of that again right now is we have a disagreement on fundamentals. Because in reality, I can disagree with Scott on how the economy should work from a very finite sense. But if we agree on who deserves rights, respect, dignity, and safety, what's there to agree to disagree on? Politics has become a sport. I hope your trip was great. It was a good trip. It was a needed trip. It was more needed than I thought it was, actually.
And what's the play you're going to do next week? I forgot to ask.
Peter Pan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy that.
It'll be fun. It'll be exhausting. So they do a 2-week, basically like a 2-week intensive. Like these kids get their parts beforehand, but basically in 2 weeks, they learn their parts. They learn their placements. They learn their songs. They learn everything, and then perform it at the end of the 2 weeks, which is crazy. We actually last year. So this one's the junior version of Peter Pan. The one we did last year was the full show of Into the Woods. And they did that in technically in a little over 2 weeks because a lot of the kids were learning their stuff beforehand. But that was crazy. So am I doing set work? I'm doing lighting, audio for it. Read the history of the I have read the history of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. To an extent, I would say it doesn't matter. I don't believe that we can interact with anything in the same way we did 250 years ago because it's a different world. That's why I don't agree with people that make decisions based on what the founding fathers wanted. Because in a real democracy, it doesn't matter what the founding fathers wanted. It matters what we want as a whole, as a country. That's why I get upset when only 15 to 25% of the people vote in primaries. That's why I get upset when only about 60% of people vote in general election. Not because I'm worried about their choice, but because most of the country isn't making a choice. Will this administration answer for the crime they commit in office? Part of me wants to say yes, but barring some event that I cannot picture right now, I am not as hopeful as I wish I were.
Well, a lot of it will depend on if the Democrats take the trifecta in 2028 and if the new attorney general is not a Merrick Garland type of character.
Yeah, but the problem always comes with these dang pardon abilities. Unless it's in states.
President probably can't pardon himself. And don't forget, states have their own systems of justice, as those ICE people are going to find out. In fact, have already started to find out in Minneapolis.
That's true. Again, everyone needs more objectivity, less subjective bias. We are all biased all the time. Even you, every single one of us. We can literally look at the same thing happening and see it completely differently. We are all biased. Bias is not the problem. Our inability to accept that we are biased and still have conversations and learn and admit we're wrong is the problem. Our experiences decide how we see something. Always have, always will. Hey, Prairie. You are doing nothing to get rid of this warmonger. What should I be doing? What do you believe? Regardless of what I know that I am doing and why I'm doing it, what do you think I should be doing? You can't curb your bias. It's not possible. It is not possible to curb your bias. Sorry. if you have empathy, your ability to interact with the world can be in a, you can help make it so it's not affecting the way you interact with people. But all of us, there's no escaping our bias. I'm sorry, there's not. What is Congress doing? Too many interests at stake. Yeah, well, yeah, that's why I'm trying to get pretty much every member of Congress, almost every member of Congress primaried. I think there are some good ones, but I'm trying to get most of them primaried. Didn't succeed as much as I'd hoped, but you know, you got to start somewhere. Thank you, David. Welcome. We're not born with bias because we have no experiences yet. Of course, we're not born with bias. Bias, how you see the world, is based on your experiences. When you have no experiences, you've got no bias. Would you run
Hillary? He's too young. You have to be over 35 to run for president. So.
Will I ever run for office? Ever? I don't want to say never. I have no plans to. Let's put it that way. You're right. Your bias can get modified if you allow it. Most people don't allow it. My family, at least as it stands right now, would not appreciate having to be a part of that world. So I'm doing what I can in the situation that I'm in. But again, there's a reason that I avoid using the never term, because who knows what the future holds. Anything can change. So, but yeah, there's a lot of cool things going on right now here. So, I've created a platform that is slowly growing. I wish it was growing faster, but it's slowly growing. I'm helping getting name recognition and visibility to people that are running for office. I'm starting to try and have the hard conversations that we need to have. And these are the kind of things that I think are needed if we really want to move forward. As much as I love some of the people that are running for office, and I think they will do great work if they can win. In the end, they are just one part of the problem. They cannot do things without, if we, the people, don't get our shit together. Because again, our government as a whole is an outcome of the amount of work and effort and accountability that we, the people, put into the government. That's how we got to where we're at. Hey, Claire.
Hey, good morning. How is everybody?
Good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I was coming up when you were talking about we're all going to be biased, right? Because of who we are, where we've grown up in,
What experiences we've
life
had.
experiences, things of that nature. But the only way that I tried to curb it, and I understand that I can't curb it, eliminate it, is by going in to factually based with statistics and um, you know, information to try to kind of take me out of that and be able to look at it a little differently,
Sure.
you know. um and we all know that, you know, the different things have bias in that way, right? So trying to find, you know, things that are, you know, either or both or neither, or, you know, it takes a lot of um takes a lot of trying to find the right places to go and stuff like that. But it is a way of doing it. But it's still, yeah, we all have our biases and
Sure. We we part of being able to learn from a situation is accepting that you are biased, accepting that you can that your perspective is based on your experiences. What people struggle with is the act of learning, the act of growing, the act of potentially even changing your biases is uncomfortable. And it involves a lot of work by everybody involved. And again, a lot of people don't want to do that work.
oh yeah, deconstruction. I mean, deconstruction on quite a few different levels. You know, is a really hard thing to do because you have to look in the mirror and have to self reflect on how your actions have um, negatively gone against people that you truly care about, um, personally and as a society. And so that's really hard
Mm-hmm.
to do. Um, yeah, I just wanted to, you know, if I could take a little left turn in Albuquerque with this a little bit, was the some of the marching that happened with khaki pants and blue shirts and white um, masks that happened this weekend, which truthfully I watched it. It hit me flat in the head on what my interpretation of it was. Um, the disgusting interpretation of what it was, and I had to get out of it because it I had such a visceral reaction to it. Um, you know, but I mean, the only difference is, I mean, to me, my bias on looking at this situation was that they just didn't have full sheets on,
Oh, yeah. Yep.
you know.
Yeah. It
They just had hoods in the front of their faces.
yeah. Yeah. And they said some pretty amazingly shitty things. And again, this is the great thing about social media is chances are it was recorded somewhere, and chances are it's out there if you look for it. The bad part is there's so much. It's amazing how many people haven't seen what actually was said by these people and done by these people there.
Yeah. But it's just one more thing on, I always, because of how my mental health is right now and everything like this, it's like I'm always having to do laundry lists of things that are wrong and, kind of subcategorizing where there are little things that I can do because I can't do the big things, but I can do the little things that are a subcategory of how to do things. Um and I don't know if I took this in a wrong way, but it's just, the fact that I feel like the amount of YT people that I've seen in communities have not been as outraged about this is extremely disconcerting. And I'm hoping that it's just a false narrative that's being shown, that people are not upset about this. And um yeah, I can't talk this morning. I'm sorry. I had a little bit too. I've been up and down all night, and I just had a lot of double stuffed Oreos and cookies and coffee for breakfast. So, you know, breakfast champions.
Breakfast of champions. Um, yeah. Look, it's all going to be hard. None of it's going to be easy. By the way, I did see I see people talking about Michigan. I saw that Mallory McClory or whatever her name is dropped out. So now it's just Abdul Al Saeed and the other woman who's supported by the more centrist Democrats. McMorrow, thank you. McMorrow.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that changes the dynamic of that race. We have another month to go. They have a very late primary. I don't believe it's till August 4th, if memory serves.
Yep.
So there's another month to go there, but it's going to be quite interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah. And again, that's the case everywhere. I think things are about to change. I I think things are going to change. We'll see how much they change. Again, it still comes down to how many people are willing to take that step that haven't been, right? That's what it's going to come down to. Are people going to be willing to get out and vote for the change that they keep saying they want, as opposed to keep doing the same old, which is what a majority of Americans have been doing for decades? Just going back and forth between the same old, not holding people accountable, all that stuff. Hey, Vonda. Upset about what? Except upset about the no, not I mean, I am upset about the existence. Uh it's that there are no consequences to their actions. And I'm not even saying governmental consequences. I'm talking societal. That we are allowing as a society people like that to walk around loud and proud. That's the problem. People need to pull together. People need to start agreeing on fundamentals. There. Again, I did not say that the government should have done things. Societal repercussions aren't protected by the Constitution. I know you
And
believe
one
they
thing,
are.
just really quick, one thing that I'm working on is because of the fact that I have such limited bandwidth to deal with certain things, is I'm finding the things that I feel are very important to what I'm doing as a deconstructing person and have value to me, that I think have value. So it's like, instead of like having all these, like I said, I do make laundry lists, but I understand that in those laundry lists, I'm only going to be taking out the parts that really are calling to me because of what's going on in my own bandwidth and my personal journey right now. Um, so yeah, I just keep having to remind, and every week I do this in therapy. You know, it's like, I am not in charge of the world. I am in charge of myself. I'm in charge of the reactions within the people in my household, and then I can use my extra time to my people within the community. Um, and I think if we all find our niche, that is one way of us becoming not so overwhelmed and being more productive. Sorry, I'm in a weird space this morning, so I love the fact that you're still allowing me up here in my weird space.
It's okay.
So,
What's up, Shug?
Hello, what's going on?
Oh, it's been a wild day.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
Oh, man.
Yes, indeed.
I always get nervous when I see a follow by someone's name, America First USA 1.
Well, we're the hottest
Well,
country, so yeah.
I'm sure he's an AOC supporter.
Sure.
Baby Sugar's doing well, Vonda.
Again, anyone that says that X, Y, and Z doesn't work doesn't realize that that's not. Stop living so black and white. Just stop living so black and white. No one has ever actually had a socialist society or a communist society. No one, ever. No one has actually tried for a full either of those. Ugh. Sorry. Every time I feel like ugh. This 4th of July was a hard one for me to completely wrap my head around. because
Well, you should have gone up to Washington. That would have made 4 of you enjoying the wonderful
Or
celebration on the mall that had absolutely nobody there.
well, there was, I mean, there were, from what I saw, there were a decent amount. Most of them were just getting kicked out because there was a friggin' storm coming.
Yes, and I just
I had no desire to celebrate the 4th this year. And again, I get that. I think there's this, I think there's this idea, especially by people. Are you back, Scott?
pardon me.
You disappeared. You were talking and then you went to the little
No,
coffee cup thing.
that was the phone. I'm getting emergency alerts on my phone.
Okay.
There's very brutal storms going on right now. I assume I'll lose power any minute,
Fun.
like everyone else in New Jersey.
I understand the fact that there are people that were struggling to celebrate the 4th. Especially when you have one group that is doing so much harm to the country while also trying to claim the 4th for themselves as though, like, even when it comes to like after the Revolutionary War, I think there's this idea that people have that everyone kind of agreed. I don't think people realize that there were people that were there that didn't even sign the Declaration of Independence because they didn't agree with it. Everyone that was there at the Constitutional Convention did not sign the Constitution. Does that make them not American? The 4th is for everyone. It was a great day. It was a hard day. And I think, honestly, like, again, celebrate. Enjoy fireworks. Enjoy being with people that you care about and grilling and eating food and doing all of that. But we can't use it as a time to ignore still what's going on. It can be both. That's why I said I can love America and still want this president out. And this is something that we as a country are not, because again, you know, marginalized communities across this country are having their representation ripped from them. What for those people, why would they feel a desire to celebrate that? If you're a woman in one of these states that has completely abolished your ability to have an abortion, what's to be excited about? If you know that your state is actively trying to make it more difficult for you to get out and vote, or you know that this administration is making it impossible, or this society is making it impossible for you to find a job, you've done all the work, what's there to be excited about? I want us all to be excited.
You know, you're talking about this, and it's very worrying and wild to me to think on that my girls who are 32 and 36, almost 37 this year, um, have less rights to their body than I did at their age. Um, I look at my neighbors, um, whom are family to me, that are in the BIPOC communities that have um, a heavier, not that racism ever went away, but the blatant racism and everything that is allowed within society and okayed is, and so to me it's unfathomable that we've had. I wanted more squeaky tanks. Lana, me too, when those assholes were marching. I wanted them all quiet with squeaky tank wheels on the backtrack of them. But
Conservatives.
if I'm not saying things right, I'm sorry.
You're
People
fine.
can.
If conservatives have high pride in the U.S. despite President, Dems have low pride, if not in power. We don't base our pride by who's the president. That's the part you don't get. You guys don't have high pride no matter who's the president. You guys are not, most likely, in most cases, not part of some marginalized community that is being affected by the choices by this administration, or you don't care. According to survey statistics, you do. Okay. Hope, maybe. Pride, not so much. Yeah, I'm sure Democrats have more hope when people that agree with them are in power.
And see, to me, this is where it all just wraps back around. Well, this is the part that's wild to me. The wild part is not that they were publicly showcasing their stupidity. The wild part is that people deny that it's happening, or that the country's so great, or that we're just making this up, or that we want to continue to live back in oppression time so we can cry about something when they're clearly and blatantly putting themselves on display, doing all that ignorant stuff. And people still have this. People still fix their lips to say, "Oh, they just want to cry. They just want to gripe. They just want to complain." Hey, look, uh, if you want to, I don't know, if you riding with whoever you're riding with, that's one thing. But let's stop denying the reality of what's happening.
And also, when it comes to pride, what makes anybody proud is different. What makes you skeptical or septic, now that I'm reading your name, proud, is probably different than what makes me proud. I'm proud. I'd be more proud of this country if we treated more people like humans who deserve rights, respect, dignity, and safety. That's what gives me pride in this country. This administration and the people that support this administration are actively taking away that from this country. The voters are actively taking that away from people. So why would I have pride in this country for that reason, when what gives me pride is when we treat each other with humanity. Did I have more pride when Biden was in office? Sure, because we did more to treat people with rights, respect, dignity, and humanity. Were we perfect? Were they perfect? No, of course not. Of course not. That's part of the problem with these surveys. They just ask people if they're proud to be an American and then what party they're under. They don't find out why. They don't look at the reasoning behind it. Why are conservatives more able to be proud no matter who the president is? Because most of their reasoning behind it has nothing to do with people, humanity, empathy, morality. It's a vague utterance that they say. Because all they have the ability to do is go, well, at least I'm not in North Korea. Sure. You're comparing us to North Korea? Sure. Yeah, we're great. Compared to North Korea. That's different than pride. That's like saying the least bad. Yeah, we're less bad than Korea. Our mission as a nation. What mission is that? What mission as a nation? Scott, did we have a mission?
Well, we have a mission statement of sorts that we celebrate, the Declaration of Independence, but that's more of a divorce agreement from Great Britain. Don't know if we really have a mission statement.
Hey, Pashley.
It's about as close as we can get, I guess.
Oh, trouble's coming up. Pash.
Hey, birthday.
No civilization based on democratic age has survived more than 300.
So what would you have as the alternative then? Autocracy?
Create an
Dictatorship?
environment where all are equal under the law. Well, we aren't doing that.
We're giving the president a pass when he breaks the law.
We haven't if we're talking about that, we literally have never been an environment in this country where all are equal under the law. Literally never.
We're literally an oligarchy right now.
But I'm talking since the beginning. Like,
true.
From the moment this country started, we never, and the 250 years since the Declaration of Independence, we have never been a society where there was an environment where all are equal under the law. It has never existed. Ever.
Well, yeah, exactly. All are equal under the law has always been more aspirational than it has been practical.
Correct.
And I would argue also that a majority of the country only believes that to a point where it doesn't affect them.
Yeah, I mean, we had the Civil Rights Amendments, which were the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. And then for the next 100 years, we still had Jim Crow. And we just had a Supreme Court strip away Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. How's that for being treated equal under the law? It's not.
We'll talk about the war on drugs too, and how unfair like crack cocaine laws are written disproportionately to punish users of crack as opposed to cocaine. You
Um,
can tell which one is.
Yeah.
Or sorry, the what's the code word for that?
mm, the white
The double
stuff.
C's, the white stuff, the double C's.
Um,
That doesn't sound right either. But
it doesn't. We got you.
Talking about the devil's lettuce, you mean?
no, the other one.
The other
But
one.
the
Oh,
war on the schmugs is very
oh,
very
I see.
very steep in
Yes.
Gotcha.
Roro, there is not a question that there are places that are worse than the United States. That's not the point. I can admit that there are places worse than here and still say that I am not proud of how we are treating our own citizens and people around the country right now, or the world right now. Those are two separate statements.
Oh, now we care about how the world is doing after gutting USAID. The pivots.
Well, I'm not saying, I was just responding to his comment.
That, and I'm responding to it too. You do care about how the rest of the world is doing? It doesn't sound like you do.
Sure, East Germany sucked. No argument there.
We're trying not to go there again. And how you don't go there again is calling this crap out now. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
Well, not only that, isn't it the same old thing of two things can be the same?
Right.
Can be true at the same time.
True at the same time. Exactly. You know, yeah, all these places that have horrible human rights violations within their countries through Amnesty International and everything are horrible. However, comma, I can also say that the fact that we have grown on that list exponentially is also a major concern on it.
America first. There are no sides. That's the point. That's the part that that so many people aren't getting. This is not a side thing. This isn't a game. Parties aren't a thing. Those are corporations. The Democratic Party, the Republican Party are corporations. We're stuck with this situation until we do something about it. And until we get more people to vote in the primaries, nothing is going to get done about it. Because the only people that are voting right now in the primaries, in general, are the ones that want to keep things somewhat in the status quo. People believe there are parties because we keep pushing this idea. Voting is not real. Voting is absolutely real. If voting was not real, they wouldn't be doing so much work to prevent us from being able to vote.
So FRP says, yeah, people can shut the fuck up and let him run the country. Well, that's an interesting view of democracy now, isn't it?
We have 3 branches of government, Scott?
Yeah, plus the
That's
state
side
governments, plus federalism on top of that. I guess we should just get rid of all that and just let him run the country, huh?
What about local government, too?
Yeah, I guess we should get rid of that too.
Money rules us all because we allow money to rule us all. Because we don't do the work. These people
y'all don't say anything.
These people that
Citizens United.
These people that spend millions, billions of dollars on commercials, the commercials only have value if you only watch them and only listen to them and only make your decisions based on them. All of this, every ounce of this, every way that a politician acts, how they run for office, what they do in office, how they decide to keep moving forward is all based on what we as the voters allow. We have shown that we don't give a shit about what they do in office as long as they tell us what we want to hear and blame the other side for all the shitty things that go wrong in the world. As long as we do that, we'll keep voting them back into office again and again and again and again. We do not hold people accountable. Do I agree with the DSA on everything? Absolutely not. I can guarantee you I do not agree with every position that the DSA stands for. But I am ecstatic that a 30-year incumbent got primaried. You're not participating in the illusion. You are continuing the illusion by not participating in it.
That is a privileged take. Very privileged.
Yup. You can say nope all you want, but you are, by not being involved, by not taking part in the process that has been set up, you are allowing the process to continue by the people that are currently in power. Do you think it starts with state government first? I think we as a society focus too much on the federal government, not enough on state, not enough on local. That is 100% true.
But we've also turned it into a reality show.
Well, yeah. How do we break the Dunning-Kruger effect? By being involved. It's still...
I don't... That's the effect where people talk about things more when they don't know about it, correct?
Oh, is it?
Is that in other people? Because we can't fix that in other people who just decide that they know more than everybody else.
Maybe I'm forgetting which is which.
I might be confused. Can anybody confirm?
And hi, Di. How are you doing, my friend? Accountability means something different these days. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think accountability means anything these days.
I've got the co-pilot answer here for AI. Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias where people with low ability in a domain overestimate their competence while highly skilled individuals may underestimate theirs.
How do we break it? I'm not sure there's an easy answer to that, because I think it involves everyone being willing. It involves learning how to have real conversations again, and part of learning how to have real conversations is being willing to be wrong. And I think that's where we've got a problem, is most people don't want to admit that they're wrong.
Well, and I would agree with not only being wrong, but being having the actual maturity to have honest self-reflection about what was going on, and being able to work through that process. I mean, it's not only just being wrong, it's the self-reflection within that we have to do in order to correct and understand.
But it's a multiple step process, i.e., say I want to have a conversation with you about something, a real one. I have to be willing to be wrong. And then part of the process after is, once I realize I'm wrong, I have to be willing to go through the kind of pain, uncomfortability, and just the process of working through the potential change of what I always thought, of what I thought I was right about, and turns out I'm wrong. So again, it's a whole process of things. And that's why when people come in and say, talk about communism and socialism, the first thing I ask is, what, in your mind, what do you think it means? Because we need to learn. Part of having a conversation is having an understanding of the perspective that both people have on something, because we know that me and everyone else in this panel right now can look at a situation, and we will, each one of us, see it differently based on our experiences, based on our education, based on our everything. And that always has to be the start of a conversation, is finding out how everyone sees a situation before we can move on. And people don't want to spend that time. People just like being angry and getting. That's why I created the emote. Wasn't because I just wanted to be like, ha ha ha. It was that's the response that we get when we try and talk. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. It doesn't help anything. And I will admit, sometimes I just get annoyed and I do want to do it, but that doesn't help fix the problem. Need a fact finder to decide on the facts. Yeah, unfortunately, we also need fact finders for the fact finders to make sure that the fact finder actually found the facts. And that's the problem we're dealing with in 2026 with the internet the way it is and things like that, right? Is there's almost so much that it becomes almost impossible to actually find truth. Like we went from being near impossible to find answers because we didn't have access to the information. Now we've got all the information, but because of that, it's made misinformation skyrocket, which means we instead of having to dig for a small amount of information, we're having to, try and find a needle in a haystack of information. I like my facts better than anyone else's. Grunkle, if we're all being honest with ourselves, we all do. Because that means that how we see the world is right, which is a lot easier to wrap our heads around.
Mike, have you seen the show Chernobyl?
I have not.
Oh,
Great show.
But Scott, you're about to see my connection here, right? There's a part in the second episode, Mike. This is not a spoiler alert because we all know what happened. But the nuclear scientist, trying to tell the leader of Minsk, like, I think Chernobyl has exploded. We need to evacuate everyone. He says, well, I've been told there's no problem. She's like, I'm telling you there's a problem. He's like, I like my opinions. I prefer my opinion to yours. She's like, I'm a nuclear engineer scientist. You used to work in a shoe factory. That is baseline what we're seeing here. Like, I prefer my opinion to yours. With MAGA especially.
And again, if it comes to the point of comes back to the point of understanding, right? The more complicated things get, the more complicated life gets, the more complicated a piece of equipment you have gets, the harder to understand it is. This is why Trump was so successful, because he dumbed down every explanation to the point that someone who doesn't understand things goes, oh, that makes sense to me. It's so much easier to try to it's so much easier to start agreeing with someone that, you know, that blames other people for a problem than it is to sit here and try and work through why I am the problem. But it's you know, it's the world we're living in. It's the fight we're living in that, again, people don't want to admit that they're wrong. I say this about Christians, especially Christians that have been in the church for 40, 50, 60, 70 years. As someone who worked through everything they were taught, I can understand why someone who's been in the church for 70 years would struggle to accept that everything they've been taught for their entire life was wrong. It is not hard for me to see that. And it goes the same thing with politics. It goes the same thing with you know, almost anything. If you've been taught something your entire life, it's really easy to see why someone would push against that. Because that's a painful thing. That's a painful thing to have to work through.
Undocumented immigrants, please. Thank you.
Yeah, well, they don't care.
Did you see that monologue that Ian McKellen gave on, oh God, was it Colbert or was it Jimmy Fallon? I'm pretty sure it was Stephen Colbert's show from Shakespeare.
No. Well, maybe. I don't remember it, though.
I'll have to send it to you. It's terrific. But it's something that was written 400 years ago, and we're still having the same uncreative arguments, right? Like ragtime touches on this. Ragtime was written in the late 90s, touching on something that happened at the turn of the 20th century. It's not original to be facetiously angry at immigrants for your problems. People have been doing this, and it's unoriginal, and it has to stop.
Oh, yeah. It's been doing it since the dawn of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
You were Irish. You were Italian. Whew.
Mm-hmm. Jewish.
Chinese, Asian, and just in general.
Japanese, the Japanese internment. Anybody remember that?
Remember of it. Female. Sure, yeah. Absolutely die. That one's been going on for longer than all of them.
The fact that like we couldn't get a credit card without daddy or husband until what, the 70s? Crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole, that's why I say societal change is the roughest part of what we're going to deal with, because we're interacting with a society where for a woman, it's not about getting married so you have someone to give you quote unquote purpose. So you have a house, so you have, you know, things so you can survive. Women can do that on their own now. They don't need no man. And we are trying as a society, men are being stubborn pieces of crap, and we're trying to and we as a society are trying to figure out what it looks like, what everything looks like, what dating looks like, what the business world looks like, what a lot of different things look like under that reality. And and that is just one piece of it. That's just one piece of the realities that we as a society are trying to work our brains around. along with everything else that we're trying to do. This is why every once in a while I sit there and I just think about all of the things that we got to work through, and it hurts my head. It's exhausting. We still have to work through the racism that we're experiencing in this country, obviously, since we just had 400 schmotzies basically in Washington D.C. and you've got a whole group of people that are trying to justify them being there.
Wait a minute, Mike, you didn't hear the news? Racism is over, man.
Oh, see? Well, there you
Trump was
go.
elected.
I didn't.
There's no racism, right, Sid?
Yep, Papa. No need for Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act anymore, or so the court said.
We are.
No need
good
for
to-
that at all. We've
Yeah, we are
evolved.
good to go, man. Everything is all good. We are cooking.
Yep. But
So stupid.
But that's
Oh, so
that's
stupid.
that's the part that's rough that people that people are ignoring. And again, no one likes to be uncomfortable. We have created a society where anything that makes you uncomfortable is just bad. And if it's bad, I can just ignore it. And we've been doing that for decades. The internet kind of made it like worse. It kind of accelerated it. But I mean, like I said, when I was young growing up, we always would be like, nah, we don't talk about this. Before the internet was huge. This isn't new. Question is, can we use a different word? Then what? Which word? I mean, I think there's a lot of words that we probably need to have new words for because uncomfortable. I mean, can we use a new word? Maybe. I can't think of one because that's what it is. You get this feeling in your gut and you don't like it. It goes back to, again, what it goes back to this thing that I used to be taught in church when I was younger. This idea, if a thing makes you feel good, it must be of God. If it makes you feel bad, it must be of the devil. PR isn't working, change the strategy. I'm not sure how you can change the strategy because, again, it still comes down to people have to be willing to go through that. And you can't, nothing any of us say will convince someone to go through the kind of torment, in some cases, the pain, the uncomfortability that comes with going through these processes, depending on how far into it you are. I mean, maybe we can PR our way through it. I mean, look at what Trump has been able to PR his way through. If you guys can think of a word that's different that can convince people to change their entire worldview, I would be all down for using it. Let's go. We need some PR specialists. Bring them in.
As toxic as debate culture is, it like, you know, like the Deans and the Parkers, and it just kind of feels like rinse, recycle, repeat. Oh, you're stupid, right? It is, I do enjoy when they describe a scenario and attribute it to like Biden or Obama. And they say, actually, it was due to Trump that this happened. And then they're like, oh, well, it's okay now. So like, that's the piece where I'm just like, well, why is it okay for the one individual? You know, Democrats are guilty of that as well.
Sure.
If it's our team member, then, you know, it's fine. I mean, the exception there for me, obviously, is the Epstein files. Like, if Bill and Hillary are there, get them out of here.
Yeah. And I mean, I get that. my only issue is I don't. Yes, it feels good from an outside perspective to see them do that,
Mhm.
but does it actually make the person change their mind? Unfortunately,
No.
again, it makes them feel like they are being made fun of, and which
Yep.
they are when Dean and Parker are doing it, and they just shut down more. They stick their heels in more, and that's an overarching problem. Again, are there some people that we're never going to come to a point of agreement on? Yeah, there just are. The fact is those 400 people that walked through Washington D.C., I don't see coming to a place of understanding and agreement with them ever.
Yep.
Ever. That is a difference in not just worldview, but humanity and morality. And that is not something you can just ignore. And I know there are people that want to. Like I said, the video I posted today, you could tell that woman thought that could actually believes that all of these things are opinions. I don't believe the life of a human being is an opinion ever. Ever. Even if I don't like them. That doesn't mean I don't think there should be consequences for choices. There should. Society doesn't want it. All right. I've got my family's coming back in a couple days, and I need to try and get this house as spotless as humanly possible, or my family will destroy me. So I do need to jump off. Thank you, everyone. Ashley, Shug, Clara, Scott. Always appreciate having all of you up. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for having us.
For everyone that gifted and shared and tapped, thank you all so very much. There's going to be new episodes coming out this week. My numbers have gone down a little bit, like in terms of how many people I'm interviewing. So it probably won't be every day, but it might get busier once we get closer to the elections. But please go and watch the videos. There are a lot of people that are running for office right now, that are up for votes right now, that need the visibility and name recognition. So if you haven't gone and watched those episodes, please do. I've also interviewed some people that are that won their primaries, and I'm re-interviewing them to go a little deeper than I did in that first interview. So there's some good stuff coming up. Also, again, wrote a song, and that's going to be coming out, not sure when, but we've finished step 1 of it, which is really cool. I wrote it with Joliet, who Ashley and Shug know, and yeah, it's really cool. There's some cool things going on here. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the weather. If it's raining, hope you don't lose your power. And yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow morning. You guys are amazing just the way you are, and I love you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile. Jeremiah, did you want to come up and do something specific, or were you just tapping and accidentally hit it? Oh, he's gone. Okay, you guys are amazing just the way you are, and I love you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile. Do something that makes you happy. Bye, guys.